New season, new logo, new shoes. They already are better than the last ones. I'm telling you right now, the last ones were awful. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we're taking a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. Potential bad boys, I should say. And this is the Adidas Trae Young 3. I would like to apologize for not reviewing the Trae Young 2s. I did get a few pairs of those in. I really did not like them. The fit especially, they were suffocatingly tight, especially around the top and the ankle area of my foot. I didn't want to sound like too big of a complainer, so I never even made the video. I really disliked the shoe. I would never put those on. If I ever tried them on in the store, they would be immediately taken off and put back on the shelf. And so again, I just didn't want to do the video. I didn't want to sound like a Debbie Downer for everybody that does like the shoe. However, I will say that just from trying these ones on, they just feel way better, man. Like the whole thing feels like a much better, more refined package. I don't even know what the hell happened with that too. I do see where they were going with it. Like from the one, it looked like it could have evolved for sure into the 2s. Just the 2 for me was a huge miss. The 3s though, they feel a lot better. Is this going to be a great on-court shoe? I'm not actually sure. All I know is that there are aspects of it that feel fantastic, so I think those are going to be its highlights at the end of the day. And then there might be some issues for some people regarding other aspects, which we will talk about in just a minute. But first things first, this outsole looks and feels incredible for indoor only. You can look at it just right off the bat. You'll already see yeah, that's going to burn through on any outdoor surface hella fast. However, indoors, it feels phenomenal. So I think that as long as your court is really clean and has a nice finish, this is going to do really well. If you play on a dusty ass court, this is going to pick up all of it. And I mean all of it. Those little teeth right there are gonna grab everything. So you'll probably need to wipe here or there. As far as outdoors, like I was saying, this is gonna burn through really fast. So I would not choose this for an outdoor shoe. Luckily, there is a takedown model. So if you were interested in supporting Trae Young and wearing his products on a basketball court, I would look at the Trae Unlimited, which is the takedown model. I would look at that one if you're looking for something that's a little bit more affordable for outdoor use. Now the midsole itself, first off, looks insane. Like this looks like some 3D printed stuff, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting. I don't think it actually is 3D printed. It just has that vibe to it. I don't dislike it whatsoever. I do know that when I pulled these out of the box, my son just happened to be standing there and he was like, I would never wear those.
Awesome. Wow.
But for basketball, I think that this is gonna be just fine. It'll actually make you stand out on the court as well because I'm pretty sure nothing else looks like this. Now, as far as the tech is concerned, supposedly the midsole is light strike. This is, I think, one of the first times I've seen light strike where it doesn't look like a Nutter Butter. You know how like all these brands have visual cues to their technology, whether it's an air window. React has a very specific look to it, Renew, Lunar, etc., etc. Light Strike had the same thing where it kind of had this Nutter Butter look to most of its midsoles. That apparently is just thrown out the door at this point, so this is what it looks like. Does it feel good? Yes, it does. However, I will say the midsole itself feels very similar to the Harden Volume 4s, if you guys remember those. So that forefoot area feels very good. However, it does feel very low to the ground. So if you need a little bit more cushion than that, you might want to look elsewhere. I'm just letting you guys know that that's just how it feels. It feels very similar, very reminiscent. It's the first thing that I thought of when I put them on. Now, the item description on Adidas's app and their website states that there is boost in the midsole. I really don't feel it, so take that for what it is. Does that mean that it's not in there? No, it doesn't. It just means that it's very tightly compact or housed within the midsole itself. I believe it's in the heel. So if that's something that they were going to maybe carry over from the Trae 2s, is that it was boost in the heel, light strike in the forefoot, and I believe that's what we've got going on here. Again, I can't really confirm it just because the strobe and everything is not see-through. It's not like got holes in it and everything. It's like one full piece of fabric. And then on the back side right there, you can't see all the way through the midsole and stuff. So what I'm assuming is just that there's boost back here. Everything else is light strike, low profile in the front, a little bit more extra cushion in the back. Pretty standard stuff, especially for basketball. One of the weirder things about the midsole and everything though is these 3 areas that you see on the bottom of the footbed where it is like literally holes through there. It feels like fabric as well. It doesn't feel like there's like a brace or a shank plate or anything like that, like in these spots. So I originally thought thought maybe that's a plate, like a Sprint frame or something, and it wasn't that. It's literally just a carve out, and they got fabric that's like really heavily glued and stuff, so it feels a little firmer. Not like the Tatum ones though, where you wish that there was some sort of bridge between the gap. It doesn't feel like that. It just is like a really weird way to do things. Also, you can see right through the outsole here that they do have a torsional bar, and that's basically their system so that you don't over twist the shoe and the foot and all of that stuff. They call it an asymmetrical. Kind of looks like a Y bar to me. Not exactly like a Y bar, but it's got that Y shape. Now the materials is just engineered mesh, basic textile. It feels really good though. One of the things that Adidas tends to do well is with materials, at least when it comes to textile materials. I feel like they do have a superior version of textile versus other brands in most situations. Not all situations, just most of them. The Dame 2 is a shoe that I like to bring up quite often just because that was one of those ones where it was like, yo, that knit was awesome. It was a jacquard, it was durable, it was flexible, it was breathable, it was everything that you could want, and it was lightweight without it being leather. This feels kind of like that. Not exactly as far as like one for one. It's just that similar type of feel once it's on foot. It gives you that same type of vibe. There's a little bit of neoprene on the shoe too. You got it on the tongue and everything, and around the eye stay area. There's lots of sculpting in the back as well as the tongue, despite the tongue looking kind of Swiss cheese-like. You got a lot of like perforation holes and stuff, but there's lots of padding all over the place. So I'm hoping that these are very comfortable for everybody as far as the way that they feel around your foot, because underfoot so far so good despite the very low profile in the forefoot section. Again, very reminiscent of the Harden Volume 4. And then that torsional plate is kind of like moved up onto the upper. They use a similar looking plate for the heel counter. It's very strong. I think that this is going to be a nicely supportive shoe. On top of that, because they are low profile, they're also on a wide stable base, and the midsole wraps up around. Again, very reminiscent of the Harden Volume 4. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but if you didn't play in those, you're probably not going to, understand what I'm saying. But if you did play in those and you liked them, this could be that shoe. I think like the Harden Volume 3s was one of those shoes, one of the last shoes where I was like, yo, those are phenomenal, an all-time great. And everybody always is just like, once they're out of production, where can I find this shoe at again, or one like it? Unfortunately, you just can't. But if the Harden Volume 4 was that shoe for you, this could be that. Also, I forgot to talk about the insole. It's not the biggest piece of shit, but it's still a piece of shit. It's basically what you would expect from Adidas. It's when we get stuff even worse than this that I'm always surprised. I'm like, what the f was that? You know what I mean? I think it was that Infinity shoe had that in it, where I was like, you didn't even try with that thing. So yeah, this thing right here, it's just a standard Adidas insole. It's a piece of junk overall. You can remove it. Obviously, you can replace it with anything that you'd like. So if you wear an orthotic, or you like Move or any other type of insole, you can remove that thing and put whatever you want to use right in there. Now, as far as fit is concerned, you can do one of two things. You can go true to size, which is what I would recommend for most people. However, if you like a super snug one-to-one fit, going down half a size is probably going to be the best bet. Again, I would recommend for most people going true to size, but if you like a very snug, toes at the tip of the shoe and everything, like just a perfect one-to-one, go down half a size, you should be money with that. True to size for everybody else. But with all that being said, this is the Trae Young 3s. Let me know what you think about them down below in the comment section. Did you cop a pair? Did you not? Sound off below. Let us know your thoughts. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, have a good one.